On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your planning? 10, your planning is 100% solid, or 1, your planning is kind of non-existent. You can't remember the last time you wrote something down. You're an HR leader who's literally in your dream job, but every now and then you wonder, are you on the right path or not? You're doing everything that you know how to do, but you know there's a few things that you're not quite really doing. So what do you do about that? Hey, it's Brittany, CEO and founder of Talented Teams Consulting, and I am back with today's video. Today I'm talking about what you need to know to make sure you're on the right path. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my own journey growing up from an unpaid HR intern all the way up through executive leadership. But that time that I spent as an HR department of one, to me, really helped solidify my career progression and really helped give me that foundation that I needed to succeed in my role. I am passionate about helping HR professionals to get out of the chaotic environment of that day-to-day grind and to really have more control over your day. Especially if you're an HR department of one, you don't have the luxury of having people to bounce ideas off of, to share the workload with, or even to check in with you to make sure you're doing things right. So that's why I'm glad that you're here on this channel and watching this wherever you're watching this. The reason why I put these videos out is to let you know you are not alone. You're not on an island by yourself, and there are resources and tools and support to help you to make sure you are thriving in your HR career. I am on a mission to help HR Department of One professionals to know that you are not alone. I want to help you also understand that there are resources out there for you. So if that sounds like you, you are in the right place. I share videos on my YouTube channel with my email community weekly, and I also send out a weekly newsletter. So if you're not already tuned in, make sure you click down below to make sure you are a part of all my new updates coming forward. My goal is to give you practical tips to make sure you are navigating each of your days with success and with clarity. So if you don't have anything to write with just yet, go grab that now and come on back to make sure you get all of these nuggets. When it comes to knowing if you're on the right path or not, it's sometimes difficult to know what that looks like. You know you're doing everything that you know how to do, but what do you need to know that you don't already know? And that's the difficult part about working alone in any industry, but specifically as an HR department of one. You are the entire HR department, and so the work that you do is reflective of the entire organization. Employees come to you, and again, like I said in prior videos, they don't care that you're by yourself. They don't care that it's your first month on the job or your 5th month on the job or that you've never had this happen before. They don't care about any of that. Their expectation of the HR department is that you're going to figure it out. You're going to help them. You're going to serve them. So again, as an HR department of one, we can't use the excuse that we're by ourselves. We can't use the excuse that we might be newer to the organization or to the role. Employees don't care about that. We've got to make sure we do everything that we can to stay on track, to do the right things. And I'm going to talk to you about a tool that I created over 10 years ago that's continuing to serve me today. When I started out in HR, I started out as an unpaid HR intern. I wasn't even on the books. Even though I'm still working in that organization right now, those months don't even count because I was technically not even there, if that makes complete sense. I needed to work there to complete my undergraduate studies. So for those 4 months, I was really a fly on the wall. I was helping people with PowerPoint presentations and screening candidates for applications and things like that. But I really didn't do much HR things until I went part-time in that same organization. But even then, when I was an unpaid HR intern, I still had someone above me. I still had someone with me to tell me what to do, when to do it, make sure I did these things. And so, of course, when you're in any organization and you have that kind of support, you get used to it. After working in that capacity for a while, and then I went part-time, and then eventually I went full-time in that same organization, I thought I had arrived. I was full-time. By this point, I knew what HR was. I wanted to be in this role. I had just graduated from college, and I was really, really excited to be a part of a 2-person HR team. That lasted for about 4 months before my supervisor had to relocate to Italy because her husband was in the Air Force. And so as soon as she announced to me that she was going to be leaving, I immediately thought that that meant that I would have to leave too, because there's no way that I felt they would leave me in the position, because I still was learning. I was super, super new, super green. Even after having a year and a half in HR, I still only did a little bit of recruiting, or mostly recruiting, and a little bit of payroll. Once she moved overseas, I had a few months with her getting support through email. But again, the time difference was just ridiculous. My days were her nights were my days. And we had a lot of time sensitive things that happened. Open enrollment. We had an employee death that happened. All these things that I had never experienced before. And I had to realize, Brittany, you've got to figure out a way to get a grasp on this, because there's not always going to be someone to hold my hand. There was never any talk to me about getting rid of me in this role, even though I knew I was super, super new. But in the back of my mind, I knew if I didn't do what I need to do, I could easily be replaced. And that's a horrible feeling to have. But I feel like it lit a fire in me to make me work even harder, to kind of prove myself even more. But let's not get it twisted. It was not sunshines and rainbows. Remember, I was an unpaid HR intern when I started. So when I became an HR department of one, we're just 2 years after that, a year and a half after that. So I'm still the youngest person in the organization. I'm now a one-person HR team. I've never led an HR department before. I had all these things working against me, and I knew that people didn't trust me. I didn't have the lived experiences that they had. I didn't have the work experiences they had. I didn't have the family structure they had. I was single. I was young. I was new. Everyone around me were grown. They had families. They had lives, had careers before that current career. So there were so many things working against me, but I still decided, okay, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to dig in. And I approached it like I approached college. I approached it from a student mentality to make sure that I don't take anything for granted. I'm continuously learning and soaking up new things to make sure I'm going to be able to do that, to add more value to the organization. Even once I decided to stick to it, to make sure I did everything was possible, I floundered. I'm going to be completely honest. I floundered for a few years. It may not have seemed like it, but I floundered for a few years. And once I got tired of missing deadlines, and these weren't even new deadlines I was missing. I was missing deadlines that I should have known to prepare for. But again, when there's not someone over you that's over your shoulder saying, hey, did you do this? Did you remember this? It's easy to get overwhelmed because you're putting out fires all the time. Once I got tired of missing those deadlines, once I got tired of working all hours of the day and the night, once I got tired of having to take my laptop on vacation, and this before remote work was even a thing for our organization, once I got tired of working on vacation, once I got tired of working on maternity leave, because once I got married, once I had kids, I realized there's no way the way I was working was sustainable. I couldn't walk away from the job. I couldn't take time away from the job. I couldn't do the things that were necessary for me to have a personal life because I was so tied to my computer. I was so tied to my cell phone, and the work needed to get done. And if I wasn't a part of it, it wasn't going to happen. If any of this sounds like you right now, where you're wondering, okay, well, you're feeling the same things that I'm describing, and you're still wondering, are you on the right path? These are the things that I did to make sure that I got myself back on track. First thing to write this down. Nobody is going to save you. No one is going to come into your organization and do your job for you. No one can do your job better than you. If you have all the knowledge of that organization, of that team, of those employees, you have to decide to take your role seriously. If you want your leadership team to take you seriously, you want your management team to take you seriously, you have to take seriously the work that you do. And what does that look like? That looks like showing up on time. That looks like writing things down. That looks like doing the things you say you're going to do. Your credibility is everything. If you tell a person that you're going to do something, you've got to make sure that you hold yourself accountable for getting those things done. But I get it. It's easy to get overwhelmed because you're putting out so many fires. And that's why I realized that in order to do all the things that being an HR department of one required of me, I had to write things down. When I say write things down, it sounds a lot more simple than it is. But no lie, for an entire year, I wrote down every meeting. I wrote down every priority. I wrote down every deadline because I need to know, okay, is this something that's only happening this year? Is this something I can expect next year? And once I had an entire year's worth of months, entire year's worth of quarters, data together, it helped me to prepare for that very next year. And again, it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to say, okay, well, I don't have the time to do that. But if you don't have the time to plan, then you have nothing but time to fail. You've got to make sure you make the time to do the things that's going to shore up your own time. Because if you don't protect your time, if you don't protect your peace, everything else is going to go to the wayside. Writing down all these scheduled events, these meetings, these priorities, and then also separating them by HR discipline. So this is the discipline column for compensation. This is the discipline column for performance management. This is for benefits. This is for payroll. This is for employee relations. All these things that happen, you're going to realize that there's a rhythm to the work that you do as an HR department of one. It's a beautiful thing once you find it, but there's a rhythm to the things that you do. There are certain quarterly things, there are monthly things, there are certain things that only happen once a year. If you don't write these things down, you will never know when to expect them. And you got to remember, you are not a machine. You cannot remember everything in your mind, and you shouldn't have to. That's why there are tools out there to create these things for you. Yes, I could have gone to CVS, I could have gone to Walmart, I could have gone, Amazon wasn't really a thing, but I could have gone anywhere to find a planner or a tool to write these things down in. But I realized that there was nothing that was unique to an HR department of one's day. And an HR department of one's day is different than the HR professional's day. And HR professional's day is different than any other industry's day. And so I had to create something for myself. Over 10 years ago, I've created this and I continue to optimize it, to improve it year over year. And believe it or not, now we're 15 years after my internship. Well over 15 years past my internship. And now outside of the HR department, I lead 2 additional teams. So I lead a team of 2 additionals on the HR department side. And so now our team of 3, that annual list of all the priorities for an entire year that we can expect, I call it my anticipated task list. That's the foundation for the entire year's work that my HR department does. So I say all that to say, if you are not writing down your tasks, if you are not writing down your priorities, if you're not writing down things you can anticipate for your own organization, how will you know if you're on the right path? You know that you're on the right path when you realize that you can control what you can control, and there are not many things that can surprise you. So again, you can't anticipate for a lot of things that happen that involve people and health and challenges and whatnot. But the things that are in your control as an HR professional, especially an HR department of one professional, you've got to make sure you control those things. Once you have a solid plan around the things that you know are going to happen and the things you can anticipate happening, the things you can expect to happen, it's going to do so much more for your confidence. It's going to do so much for your credibility. It also is going to make the work that you do, the visible work that you do, even more impactful, because people would look at you and you're like they can set their clock by you. They know you're going to always be on top of things you're working on. That's going to really give you room to handle more priorities and more responsibilities in the future. Now, I get it. Working an entire year, writing everything down to figure out, okay, what are your priorities? What are your tasks? That sounds a bit overwhelming. It was overwhelming for me. And I can honestly say my list grew year over year. Luckily for you, you are reaping the benefits of coming behind me, and I'm able to share this with you. So this tool I created from scratch over 10 years ago that's continued to serve not only me, but my team. I'm also making it available to my community here as well. I created the Thriving in HR Planner specifically for HR Department of One professionals and HR leaders, HR department leaders who are tired of missing deadlines. You're tired of things passing you by, things you should have already known about, things you should have made space for, things you should have planned for. But because you're too busy putting out fires, it's too difficult to remember everything. You can't remember everything. You cannot be expected to remember everything. So having this tool is really a great idea because it allows you to write things down, to plan for things, and not only plan to do things right and to check it off your list, but also to take care of yourself personally as well. Once I started to grow my family, I realized, Brittany, you are more than your HR title. Yes, I always aspire for more. I always aspire for more pay, more title, more rank, more authority, more influence. But again, outside of my organization, my family wants me whole too. So when I put together this Thriving in HR Planner, I didn't only prioritize your work as an HR professional. I know that's important to you. You wouldn't be watching this video if it wasn't important to you. But I think it's also important to focus on yourself personally and your own growth, your own priorities for your own self. One of the very first sections of this entire planner is like a challenge. It's a 12-month challenge. You can decide how you want to do it as well, but it allows you to go through and just set different self-care activities to show yourself and prioritize for yourself that you are taking care of yourself. You're filling your own cup so that you can take care of those around you. I can talk for hours and hours and hours about this planner. It is my highest recommendation for any HR leader and any HR Department of One professional who is seeking assistance with moving forward in your career the right way, and you want to free up your time so that you can work more strategically and not get so stuck in the weeds and doing the same day over and over like Groundhog Day. If that sounds interesting to you, click down below to get more information about this planner. You can go to TownsendTeamsConsulting.com/thrive to get tuned into this, and you can learn more about it. This planner is very extensive. It's like 180 something pages, and I put it together for you to go through an entire year, an entire 12 months, wherever you start. So if you started in January, if you started in March, if you started in October, wherever you go, you can have 12 months of data within this planner. And it's a very, very economical cost. I'm not going to say the cost in this video because the cost will eventually increase. Whenever you're watching this now, go ahead and get it because it's the lowest price you will ever see it. But I want to make sure you get this, and it's very, very affordable to get an entire 12 months worth of data, 12 months worth of planning, 12 months worth of career gosh, career success in one document is unheard of. And I'm so excited to share it with you because it helped me to free up my time and help me to position myself as the leader that I knew I always could be. And in true Brittany Graddick form, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to pick you up and leave you there. Once you get access to the planner, it also comes with an online course. So you'll have video tutorials walking you through the planner. Again, some people might be able to pick up a planner, read it, and go with it. But some people might want to hear me talk through it. So say, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this section? What's the best way to use this? What are the best practices? So the tutorial videos help you to go through every section of the planner. I think it's like 8 or 9 sections of the planner to make sure you're getting the best use of it. You're going to spend your hard-earned money, or you're going to get your company to invest their hard-earned dollars into this tool to help you to be successful. I want you to make sure that you win. That's my goal. I want you to win. I want you to thrive. So how do you know that you're on the right path? You know that you're on the right path once you have a plan and you're meeting that plan consistently, week over week, month over month, year over year. You made it to the end of this video, so whatever number you said in the beginning of this video, whether it's 1, whether it's 5, whether it's 10, decide again or go back and edit your comment. Is it still that same number? Did it change any? What questions do you have about the planner? As you can tell, I am so excited about this planner to get into your hands. It is my highest recommendation for any HR leader, any HR department of one who is serious about taking your career to the next level. And it all starts with having an intentional plan with what you're trying to do. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you are better now after watching this video, leave a comment down below and let me know. I would love to serve you in this way. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I'll talk to you on the very next video. Bye.